Erik Karlsson's success this season, is it due to Brent Burns leaving? Now, when you put it like that, right? And I know you're talking X's and O's, and that's actually how I want to get into it too, but I need to state this clarification from the beginning. It's not like there was some conflict of individuals and 65 and 88 hated each other, couldn't play with each other, and now that the problem is gone or it's resolved or one of the two problems, it's all better. No, that's not it at all. Brent Burns being traded away was to clear up some salary cap space, to get some players back in return. It was just a moving forward of the franchise. And really, that was, up to this point, that is the biggest wow move that the Sharks have made since last season. And since all the change and the transition, I'm talking about, the first player personnel type move. But to answer your question, yes, there is some huge part of this. Well, the biggest thing, let's also establish the biggest thing. Karlsson has been healthy. And that's not something he's ever been with the Sharks. There's always been, was it the wrist that needed surgery? Was it the groin that was an issue, a recurring issue? This season, we haven't had that at all. 41 games in. Please don't mess this up. Like, hockey gods, don't screw this up. Let Karlsson keep playing healthy, unobstructed. I think that's the biggest number one reason. Number two, I think that the absence of Brent Burns makes him a showcase defenseman where pretty much every shift on the ice, he's going to be the guy looking to make a phenomenal play. And there's kind of the past, when I say the past to do it, there's the okay, there's the approval to do that, because when it was him and Burnsy on the same team, like Burnsy wants to try some things, and Karlsson can't do that also every single shift. So I think knowing that you're the guy and the only type guy like that, left on the team, the real offensive defenseman, then I feel like, yeah, maybe that there is strategy-wise just more opportunities, right? Like the power play, there's no question who you want to get the puck to on the point to start off, point shot, get one through. Because before it was get it to 88, and he would get it to Pavelski, and that's how they would score. Karlsson was kind of like, yeah, he's there, but it defines Erik Karlsson, I think, a little bit more to be in the role he's in right now. Let me also just say this. Let me add to your point. So you've already clarified, has nothing to do with personality, has a lot to do with opportunity, right? But I also think there's this too. I mean, Erik Karlsson realizes the Sharks' situation. Let's be blunt about this. Haven't made the playoffs in a couple years. He's always been motivated to play well. Stop it with he's trying harder now. Just stop that. Stop that. Okay? Nobody shows up and says, I feel like mailing it in and I don't really care. I've never got that impression that that's him. Like I said before, health was the biggest issue. Opportunity, strategy is an issue. But let me just say this. There is right now probably the motivation to play well, to showcase yourself, because you don't know what the future holds for this team. When there was transition after Doug Wilson and the team parted ways, who was going to be the next GM, who's the new head coach. Like, he wants to not only be on a good team, but he needs to find the way to make himself look good for whatever happens next. This is not a team where he knows, they'll be in the playoffs the next 5-6 years in a row. Who knows when they'll be back? He's just trying to go out there and showcase himself as best as possible. And again, is that different from how he had been operating or playing? No. It just so happens to be that that is definitely somewhere in the back of his mind. Like, think about yourself. I'll tell you this from personal experience too. There was a time where me and all my colleagues got laid off from a job we took a lot of pride in. So what does everybody do? They come right back with a chip on their shoulder and say, all right, I'll show you. I don't know that he has a chip on his shoulder, but he had certainly frustrations from injuries and, fresh slate now kind of with the team. He's just trying to show up and literally show out. So it's not just one thing. Like, let's be very clear. Like, Karlsson is having, career-type success. He had a better first half to this season than any other first half he's ever had. Quite honestly, this season alone is kind of better than 2 or 3 of his Sharks seasons put together, to be very frank with you. But it's not just one thing. It's a bunch of things that are the reason why he's on this ridiculous pace. And I think what's also equally impressive about this pace, it's not coming at a time where the Sharks are winning a ton and he's got a ton of targets and people to set up. I mean, it's literally, he is the scoring backbone of this team. And without him, where would they be? Think about that.